me ask you a question. Right now, today, your bank has taken the money sitting in your checking account and using it to buy the exact same assets they tell you are too risky for you. Did you know that? And they're earning double-digit returns on your and my money while they pay us less than 1%. That's not a glitch. That's not an accident. That's the system working exactly the way it was built to work. I've spent 37 years studying how money actually moves through the financial system. And the truth of the matter is this: the same tools the banks use to grow their money, they were never exclusive. You just were never shown what they really are. So today I'm going to show you what 3 specific ETFs are that are necessary, not what they're called, what they actually do inside the system. Because once you see what these really are, you stop calling them investments. You start calling them positioning. But before I show you which 3, there's one of them that's quietly beaten what most advisors recommend by double digits, and almost nobody's ever heard of it. I'll show you exactly which one and exactly why it works. Quick favor before we get into this: hit subscribe, tap that like button. Come on, right now, I need you to like this video because that's how YouTube is going to put it out in the ecosystem. This way, more people can get access to information just like this, just like you just did. Now, here's the problem with how most people think about a savings account. They think it's a safe place to park their money. Here's the truth: a savings account is not a safe place. It's a lending instrument of the bank, and you are on the wrong side of the loan. Think about it like this. Imagine you lend your neighbor $1. He takes it, buys a stock with it, and it doubles in a year. Then he hands you back 1 penny and says, "Thanks for the help." That's not a metaphor. That's what your bank does with your deposit every single day. They call it the spread. They pay you almost nothing. Then they take your deposit and go invest it in the exact same assets they warn you to stay away from because they're too risky. And here's why the system needs you scared of investing. Confusion keeps you parked in cash, and cash is their fuel. If you actually understood what these tools were, you'd stop being the fuel. You'd start being the one who gets fed. So let's be clear, and let's clear something up right now. ETFs are not gambling. They are not some complicated thing only Wall Street guys with 3 monitors on the desk understand. And they are not something that requires you to be an expert. The system wants you to believe investing is complicated because complexity is the cage and confusion is the lock. And as long as you stay confused, you stay still. Now, ETF number 1, VOO. Let's get started here. The Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. Most people would call this a fund that tracks 500 companies. That's the wrong definition. Here's what it actually is. Picture America's 500 biggest companies as a 500-table restaurant. Every major deal in this country happens at one of those tables. When you own VOO, you don't own a table. You own a piece of every table in the building, including the kitchen. It's been doing this for so long. It's been winning. It's been moving. It's been upgrading. And we didn't realize owning it is like owning a piece of every table in the building. I've been doing this 37 years, and here's what I've learned. This is not an investment. It's a position inside the engine room of the American economy. I got to say that again. This is not an investment. It's a position inside the engine room of the American economy. Inside that fund, the biggest seats at the table right now are Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft. These aren't just stock tickers. These are the companies the entire financial system orbits around. And here's the part that should wake you up. This fund started around $101 a share. Today, it is trading at over $634 a share, and that's not luck. That's not the market went up. That's positioning. That's compounding. ETF number 2, SPMO. SPMO, the Invesco S&P 500 Momentum ETF. Now, let me tell you this. When the system has layers, the second layer is momentum, and that's SPMO. Most people hear momentum fund and they think whatever's hot right now. That's the wrong definition, too. Here's what momentum actually is. Think about a running back in football. The good ones don't run to where the hole is. They run to where the hole is about to open. That's SPMO. It's not chasing what's already moved. It's tracking where institutional money is already flowing. The same data the banks and the hedge funds use to decide where to put capital. Right now, the companies leading that flow, Broadcom, Nvidia, Meta. Those names tell you which direction the current is running. This fund started at around $26 and now it's over $120. But here's where and when this does not work. It does not work if you're operating from fear. Because the truth of the matter is the system needs you scared. Fear is how they buy your position back from you at a discount. You panic, you sell low, they buy what you just sold for pennies on the dollar. ETF number 3, VUG, Vanguard Growth ETF. This one is important. Most people would call this a growth fund. Here's what it actually is. Think of the economy like a house. Some ETFs own the foundation. VUG owns the part of the house still being built. The additions, the upgrades, the rooms going up right now. That's where the growth lives. Half of this fund sits in technology, Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, because technology is the infrastructure layer of the entire economy right now. This fund started at $49.56. Today, it's over $494. That's 10 times. And 10 times is not luck. It's positioning in the right layer. Same person, same information, but now you know what you're actually working with, and that changes everything. What this means for your business. Now, here's what it means if you're running a business. That cash sitting in your business checking account, earning nothing while you wait on a client to pay an invoice. That's the exact same trap. It's fuel for somebody else's position, not yours. When a lender looks at how you manage money, they're not just looking at your balance, they're looking at whether you think like an asset manager or whether you think like a checkbook. Positioning changes how you get evaluated, not just by the market, by the people deciding whether to fund you. Now, if you're seeing yourself in this, if you're realizing this has been the gap, the link in the description is how we go deeper on this together inside the CBL Wealth Blueprint. But here's what nobody's telling you. The real lesson is this. It was never about which ticker you picked. It was never about which ETF was the best one. The real problem is the belief underneath it. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that money is supposed to sit still. That safe means stuck. That investing is for other people. Your bank account isn't broken. Your operating system around money is. Because the truth of the matter is the system doesn't need you to fail. It just needs you to stay confused and call it being careful. Same person, same habits, but man, different positioning. And it's making all the difference. This is important. Now that you know what these really are, you can see why just saving money was never going to get you where you want to go. The next question isn't what to buy, it's how to position it inside your business, inside your credit profile, inside your life. And that execution layer is exactly where most people stay stuck without somebody who's been inside this system. That's what the CBL Wealth Blueprint was built for. Taking what you now understand and building the action plan specific to your business, your credit, and where you stand right now. Now, this is something. Remember this. The system is always building wealth somewhere. The only question is whether you're positioned to capture it or whether you're the fuel for somebody else's position. Drop a comment below. Tell me, what did you think these 3 things were before today? And if you're ready to stop guessing and start positioning, the link is in the description for where we can build this together. And do me a favor, subscribe, because next time I'm going to show you more of what is needed for your personal and business success. And you're going to want to see this one coming. Well, my friends, be blessed. I look forward to seeing you real soon. Take advantage of this information, put it to work for you, and change your positioning. Be blessed.